Hi, today we will explain the plot of a movie called Air, which was released in 2023.
Air Jordan.
So, let's get straight to the storyline.
They're called Air Jordan.
A man named Sonny Vaccaro was attending a high school basketball tournament in America. Seeing from his enthusiasm, Sonny was a basketball fan who was very popular in America at that time. He also worked at Nike, a company that produced sports shoes with a large market share in America. While watching high school kids play basketball, Sonny always observed every game they played. He looked for new talents to sponsor so that they would play better and Nike would gain its position in the American basketball market.
You getting pretty excited about that? 2 weeks, yeah? All right, great game.
After attending a high school basketball tournament, Sonny went to a casino in Las Vegas and played a few games, but it seemed that luck was not on his side that day. In 1984, Nike was still at the bottom of the basketball shoe market share. At that time there were two competing companies with the same line of business, including Converse with 54% market share and Adidas with 29% market share, while Nike was still in third place with 17% market share. Upon arriving at the company where he worked at, Sonny was reprimanded by a Nike division head named Howard White to immediately find a basketball player who would be Nike's brand ambassador.
You can hardly do what the hell you supposed to do. The mamas run stuff, especially in black families.
After a long conversation about the company's business, Sonny left Howard and rushed to a meeting with the sales team. A head of the sales team named Rob Strasser led the discussion to choose 3 basketball players who would be the brand ambassadors of Nike basketball shoes, but Sonny always rejected the players chosen by the sales team members. He considered that the sales team did not understand basketball and was not good at assessing basketball players. Besides, the budget given to recruit 3 basketball players of $250,000 according to Sonny was not enough. Therefore he went to see the president-director of Nike named Phil Knight. Upon arriving at Phil's room, Sonny explained the results of his meeting with the sales team.
I had to lay off a quarter of the fucking company, okay?
I know, Phil.
Hearing the results of their meeting, Phil became angry because the sales of Nike basketball shoes always decreased with that strategy. As a result, the board of directors also continued to pressure Phil to close the basketball division due to poor performance. In response to Phil's complaint, Sonny argued that the budget received by the basketball division was insufficient. He wanted their budget to be at least doubled. Hearing that request, Phil immediately rejected it and explained that the board of directors would not want to invest more funds in a basketball team whose performance had not improved. Phil then asked Sonny to find a new strategy because that was why he specifically recruited Sonny as a basketball expert in his company. In the evening, Sonny spent time looking at various recordings of basketball tournaments. In his heart he was very interested in Michael Jordan, a basketball athlete who would soon debut in the NBA. However, the Nike sales team thought the athlete's price was too expensive, so he needed a good reason to convince his superiors. The next day, Sonny met Rob with a recording. He explained to Rob why he really wanted Michael Jordan. He wanted to make shoes with the characteristics and embodiment of a Michael Jordan. Sonny also believed that the budget they had would be enough if they focused on just one person.
Look, he wants the ball. He's calling for the ball.
In response to the idea, Rob was not convinced that it would work.
Anthropomorphize the shoe, put little legs and arms on it.
Wanting a different response, Sonny went to Howard and pitched his idea. Howard seemed to like Sonny's idea, but he wasn't sure their director Phil would agree with it.
And Boomer, it's interesting because what Boomer does...
Armed with his confidence, Sonny contacted David, who was Michael Jordan's agent. After listening to Sonny's request, David said that it was highly unlikely that Michael Jordan would be willing to attend Nike because during training Michael would always wear Adidas shoes and during games he would wear Converse. His agency had also scheduled a meeting for Michael with both Converse and Adidas, and their asking price could not have been less than $250,000. Because his request was rejected by David, Sonny then met Phil in his room. Phil rejected his idea, but despite being disapproved by Phil, Sonny continued to try to persuade his director and said that he was risking his career for the decision. The next day Sonny did not come to his office and instead went to see George Raveling, an Olympic coach and friend, for advice. In a bar, George, who had been listening to Sonny's ideas, was of the same opinion as the others that Michael Jordan would not be willing to come to Nike. He was close to Michael, but he would not be able to persuade him because Michael already disliked Nike from the start. Hearing his friend's opinion, Sonny thought about talking to Michael's mother, but George wanted his friend to avoid that action because stepping over the agency could jeopardize Sonny's career. But in the end, as someone who already knew Sonny's personality, George would support all of his friend's choices and was willing to help him. After returning to the Nike office, Sonny met Howard and said that he was going to see Michael Jordan's parents. Having known Sonny's personality for a long time, Howard supported the decision, only saying that if he was fired, he would not want to accommodate Sonny, as he laughed mockingly. The next day, Sonny went to North Carolina where Michael Jordan's parents lived. Arriving at the Jordan family home, he was welcomed by James Jordan, Michael's father. Shortly after, Dolores Jordan, Michael's mother, also came out to meet Sonny to discuss some matters. Sitting in front of Sonny, Dolores told the man in front of her that her son Michael had decided to choose Adidas as his top priority and Converse as his second choice. Sonny already knew that, but he wanted to make a bet with Dolores that both were the wrong choice for his son's future. Sonny would guess how the meeting with the two companies would go. If his guess was wrong, they didn't need to attend the meeting with Nike, but if his guess was right, he wanted Dolores to persuade her son to agree to a meeting with Nike. Sonny guessed that their meeting with Converse would be a show of luxury and Converse would not give a satisfactory answer when asked about how her son could stand out or be different from their other basketball stars. While the meeting with Adidas would go with a bit of arrogance of its leaders, they thought that there was no other choice for him but Adidas. They would also conflict when asked about who the main policy maker was so that it would make it difficult for Michael in the future. After hearing Sonny's explanation, Dolores thanked him for being so concerned about her son's future. After his meeting with the Jordan family, Sonny was reprimanded by many. David, Michael's agent, was angry and cursed Sonny out. He also made sure that if Sonny could not bring Michael to Nike, his company would blacklist Nike from the basketball industry. The same thing was also done by Phil, who thought Sonny had exceeded his authority. He also considered his subordinates too arrogant for the results of his meager performance. Unable to reduce Phil's anger, Sonny could only hope that his boss would soon understand his good intentions for the company. Although he didn't know what Michael Jordan's decision would be, he then went to Rob to tell him that Michael Jordan would definitely be coming to Nike on Monday and that they needed to prepare everything in advance. The first thing they did was to meet Peter Moore, a very professional Nike shoe designer. Sonny asked Peter to design a pair of basketball shoes that highlighted Michael Jordan's characteristics. Getting the request, Peter was very excited to work on it because he really liked the design of basketball shoes. On Saturday, the Jordan family attended a meeting with Converse. It went exactly as Sonny predicted. At the same time, Sonny, Rob and Peter were discussing the design of their basketball shoes and Peter had the idea to name the shoes Air Jordan.
Air Jordan.
Hearing the idea, Sonny and Rob thought that it was perfect. The next day, the prototype of the Air Jordan shoe was finished and the three of them were very satisfied with the result. Meanwhile elsewhere, the Jordan family attended a meeting with Adidas, and once again, the meeting also went just as Sonny predicted.
Are these the only options for the shoe?
Towards midnight, Phil met Sonny, who was working overtime, and decided to support the Air Jordan plan. Finally, Sonny, Phil, Howard, Rob and Peter held a meeting and made plans for their meeting with the Jordan family the next day. The next day, the Jordan family arrived at Nike with Sonny welcoming them.
He doesn't want to be here, but he will listen. He promised me that.
Inside the meeting room, Howard, as a fellow black person, familiarized himself with the Jordan family. They seemed familiar and excited except for Michael, who seemed uninterested in anything. But his view changed when he saw the Air Jordan shoe that were made according